Hello, everyone out there. This is your friend, Dr. Haruna Goro. Please share this broadcast with as many people as you can. I'm talking about the engagement that happened yesterday, the visit by the South African president with a team of ministers and a business person, and also I think some sports people. You remember these prominent South Africans that have won medals as it has to do with the golf. And so it was a very, very serious engagement yesterday. So I just want to share my take on the issue. And I decided to write out some things here so that I don't miss out anything. So please share. As you can see, it's about how Trump challenged the president of South Africa. You know, they said that, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. We know that South Africa it's a sovereign nation, but it's not a match for America. I feel like maybe they took on a fight that they didn't have the resources, the stamina to be able to sustain. And so he was forced to go and meet, to pay a visit to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump graciously received him, which was wonderful. I watched it, and there are some take-home or takeaways that from what I watched. And please go ahead and share this broadcast with us, with as many people as you can. Number one, the decision to visit Donald Trump was strategic. I removed my cap for President Ramaphosa for even thinking about going to engage Donald Trump in his own place. And he went to the Oval Office. He was well received. And then I want to talk about how calm Cyril Ramaphosa was during the engagement. He wasn't emotional. Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump was pushing on him on the issue of the alleged or the purported genocide, which people, they said it wasn't really genocide. But then white farmers are fleeing South Africa because of the calls by EFF and also Zuma's party. So Donald Trump even played some of the rallies. I didn't watch it, I couldn't see it, but I could hear the voice. It was really, really emotional. So South Africa, it's obvious. South Africa has demonstrated that they need America. And that's why the president took the step by going there to visit, and he strategically went with the right people. Since they're talking about white farmers being killed and they are fleeing in their thousands to America, so what did he do? He had to take some of the prominent whites in South Africa to go for that meeting. And I'm telling you, I watched it and I think it was a very, very successful meeting, even though kind of tense. But as I said, Cyril was kind of composed in the way he handled it. But then his team also helped him to bring the point home. The team of Ramaphosa, the team that he went with, they were eloquent in the way they made their own presentation. That's my take. The golfers that were there, the business person that was there, and even the DA, is it the DA president? And that is, John? I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but strategically, because of the GU, that is the Government of National GNU, the Government of National Unity, because for all the years, the ruling party ANC has always had the majority, but this time around, they lost their majority and they were forced to go into a coalition or a Government of National Unity. That's how John Hastezen, or whatever they call him, became minister in the cabinet of Cyril Ramaphosa. So strategically, he made him the minister of agriculture. And you know the whole thing about land grab, land appropriation, where the people like Malema are calling for the appropriation of land. Take the land back from the whites and give it to the blacks, but don't compensate them. Yeah, well, that is a subject for another day. So but Cyril came out to let the world know, to let Donald Trump know that it is not a government policy. And people that are aware and familiar with all the calls made by somebody like Malema. He's been very vocal, very, very emotional, and he is not mincing any words. He comes out clear to say, no, they stole the land, they must restore the land. And I guess that's what is empowering the people to start killing the white farmers. So I know that two wrongs don't make a right, as one of the people said, during their visit. But I want to really say, this is my take. You may have a different take, but I feel that that visit was very, very necessary. And I believe that from now on, certain things will start to change. Because a lot of people, investors, were leaving South Africa, and some of the ones that wanted to go to South Africa because of what was happening, and since Donald Trump has called on white South Africans to come there to America as refugees. So many of them are now fleeing South Africa for their lives because they are being killed. White farmers are being killed and their land taken from them. So that's why this thing happened. So to me, this was well done. So going forward, since the meeting has already taken place, and Donald Trump was very gracious, received them respectfully, but he just had to share his view. Because, there was a video he played, and the video displayed the graves and how people on Sunday, the whites had to go pay, their respect to people that have been killed. Crosses all over the road. And so maybe, I don't know if they have it online for you to watch, but we that were watching, I don't know whether from your own angle or the particular TV channel you were watching showed it. So for those of you that just joined, I am giving my take regarding the situation in South Africa, or the visit of Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, his visit and his team to Donald Trump, and just the aftermath. And I just feel I need to share my own views. I've been interested in the situation of Africa. I'm one of the activists, or one of the people that's very passionate about seeing the birth of a new Africa. And we cannot continue to remain subservient or remain slaves and dependent on the West, dependent on America, where we can't do anything without America. However, whether we like it or not, these people have gone ahead of us. We need to learn from them, and we need to trust God for wisdom on how we can learn from them, not to become their slaves again like it was in the past. So these are some of my take and my advice to Cyril Ramaphosa going forward from now on, is that they need to expedite the issue of finding ways of solving the problem of unemployment and crime in South Africa, because this is what is giving birth to what is happening. The criminality that we see in South Africa, the raping, the killing of people, not only blacks against whites. In fact, the worst one is blacks against black. Every day, people are dying, just as we had during the time of during their visit. That what is happening in Cape Town is worse than the killing of white farmers by blacks. Because there you go to a place like Cape Town, you've got the Cape Flats where it's murder, and there is like a no-go area. Nobody is allowed to go in there. Even the police, they are overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. And that's why you had them making the call, asking if they can be assisted, drones to help them to curb the crime that is going on. So my advice to President Ramaphosa, before you start asking others to help you, you need to get your act together. You need to make sure you are the president, you are the commander-in-chief. You are the executive, the chief executive over South Africa. Yes, I know you should reach out for help, but my advice to Cyril Ramaphosa, take your stand as a president. You are in charge. You are the boss. You can't watch your nation destroyed. Now you already suffered. You've lost, multiplied thousands, if not millions, during your time of struggle. But now you are free. So why don't you take action instead of waiting for America to be the one that will do it for you? You need to ensure that there is a clear win-win solution to the challenge of land. The people don't have land. That's why they are going out to seize land. You've been promising, now is how many years? 30-something years after independence. And yet, the blacks are still impoverished. They are living in shacks. They have no, no good water, no good food, over 40% of South Africans are unemployed. What else do you expect? So that's why you need to make sure you get the economy working well, and also systems in place to ensure that your people are empowered. Deal with the issue of land. And that's why people like Malema are talking the way they are. And after 30-something years, by now, the issue of land should have been sorted. Africa, when are we going to wake up and free ourselves? That's why I'm excited about what is happening. That's why you hear a lot of people are talking about Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore is all about his people. We don't hear of corruption again in Burkina Faso. So ensure that a similar thing happens in South Africa. South Africa is not a poor nation. It's not a poor country. It's very, very rich in mineral resources, rich in human resources. So there should absolutely be no reason why any South African should be in poverty, should be living in shacks. There is no reason. South Africa is rich enough to empower her people for them to be free. And then we'll see the issue and the challenge of criminality come to an end. It's possible, but you need to have not a reactive, but a proactive approach. You need to have plans and make sure you have all hands on deck. Doesn't matter where somebody's party, doesn't matter what race, what color, what tribe, what region. Unite as one nation to build your nation. These are my advices to Cyril Ramaphosa. If you have any connection to him or anyone close to him, please tag this broadcast to Cyril Ramaphosa. But I salute him for taking the step to go and see Donald Trump. I thought that was a great meeting. I know it was kind of tense because of what was happening, what Donald Trump was talking about, especially the issue of the killing of white farmers. But I still think that was a great meeting. So crime is the offshoot of weakness of government as far as I'm concerned. A government that cannot protect her people, where everybody can take the law to their hand. They can go burn buildings. They can, go to shops, loot shops, burn the shops down. They can, whatever. If people become so lawless like that, how do you govern a nation that is lawless? President Cyril, you are the president. Take charge. You've got the police. You've got law enforcement. Because if you allow the citizens, because they are poor and they don't have jobs, to destroy, burn the nation down. So how would you get investors? How would you build the nation? That's why those people that are unemployed, find something for them to do. Let the resources be used to take care of the people. They are struggling, they are suffering, they are hungry, they have got no jobs. That's why they become criminals. That's why we see the crime. So very, very important. Provide jobs. Provide opportunities for the people to create jobs. Create a safe, conducive environment for the people to find jobs, to create jobs, for investors to come in and know that they are welcome, they are safe. You must deal away with this idea of xenophobia. The world is like a global village. No nation can exist in isolation. We all need each other, whether from within Africa, within SADC or other nations, Committee of Nations. We need to work together. So to be able to make your nation, South Africa, inviting, conducive, welcoming, accommodating to foreigners or foreign investors, you have to talk to your people. Use your language. Talk to them against xenophobia. Tell them nothing comes by just fighting and killing. Nothing just comes just because you are South African, so you have a right to everything. You have to work. You have to be prepared to sacrifice. But it must start from the top, from the president to the cabinet, down to the lowest person in the society. The moment you create a new culture, then what we are talking about with the issue of criminality will be a thing of the past. And also, my advice on the issue of the Malema thing, I know President Trump was asking the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, that, okay, if the man is talking like that and it's your nation, How come you haven't arrested him? I know the issue of Malema is a little bit sensitive. We know even in Parliament what he says to, even what he used to say to President Zuma, what he says to Ramaphosa. So this is Malema and how he talks. He believes that he has the way he thinks this should be done. But South Africa is not just EFF. South Africa is not just Ramaphosa or Zuma. South Africa is a collection of people of all races, all tribes from different regions. So you need to unite and don't let one man and his utterances destroy your nation. Because when investors run away because of the utterances or maybe appearing unguarded utterances or unchecked utterances by Malema, who will suffer? The whole of South Africa will suffer, especially the poor, the disadvantaged, and the marginalized. The same people that have suffered in the past. Ramaphosa, I advise you, find ways to curb this issue of people speaking like Malema unchecked. Because if you tell people, kill the white farmers, kill them, how else do we interpret it? I know, he's gone to court, or whether is it a hearing where they're asking him, what do you mean by this? And he says he didn't directly say they should go and kill white farmers. But then anybody hearing that, you will know, well, if you speak like that as a person that's a leader, and you're addressing people that come from different backgrounds, different understanding, different educational language standard, their interpretation will be different, especially when they are hungry, when they don't have jobs, and you talk to them about go and take the land, grab it, kill them. They will do what you are telling them. So the only one that can deal with this matter, Commander-in-Chief, you must make sure that this thing does not continue. Check the utterances of Malema and other people that are inciting the people. Because you see, the mob, the general crowd, they follow whosoever they look up to as their leader. And if they look up to Malema as the one, whatever Malema says, they didn't go to a school of knowing how to, translate, to fully understand what did he mean, because they are not in court. In court, lawyers will argue the case and try to say, but this is what the person meant. So the mob, the general public in a stadium, that's why Donald Trump kept saying, but there were over 100,000 in that stadium. So what do you expect? Should we be surprised if white farmers are being killed? So President Ramaphosa, to save your nation, you want investors. Nobody wants to waste their money in a place where it's not safe. There's too much crime in South Africa. My take is this, the way I feel the South African government is going is the reason why South Africa is having the problem they're having. In the case, because you have suffered from apartheid, because you were oppressed and you had no rights, so now you want to prove everybody has a right. Freedom comes with a cost. You should be prepared to say, okay, yes, this is the law. We are in a place where there's democracy and there's human rights, but every right, your right shouldn't infringe on somebody else's right. There's nothing in any constitution that allows somebody else to take a property by force or to kill somebody else because he's not happy or she's not happy with the person. So you want investors, you want to see the economy of South Africa grow, you want to see a new South Africa. Remember what Mandela said. He came for peace. When it started before, it was like war. But after 27 years of being in prison, the man learned that there's just not only one way to do something. There are so many ways of killing the bird. So South Africa, your way forward is engagement, dialogue, peaceful dialogue, not war, not calling for killing of anybody. Whites are equally South Africans, just like the blacks. Do you know, as I speak right now, there are many whites that don't even have jobs. They are on the street. And now if you go to Johannesburg, go to Pretoria, go to Cape Town, you will see how many whites are on the street, what we never saw before. And I'm not saying blacks are the ones that must always be on the street. No South African should be on the street suffering, because South Africa is endowed, is blessed with so many resources. That's why I'm saying provide jobs for the people. But you can't have a nation with resources and the few politicians steal the money. I mean, we've had how many corruption cases against South Africa? Even the time of COVID, South African ministers were stealing the money. Corruption is what is responsible. It's not white farmers that are your problem. Corruption. Deal with your corrupt politicians and corrupt government officials and other people that just believe that the only way to get things to happen is through the corrupt means. But by the time you deal with this, I'm telling you, to be a thing of the past. And then the issue of Zuma. Zuma was basically the situation of a fight between the same house. And that was the one that came as a result of, his fallout and how they got him out. And so now he came up with his own party. And so now, whatever, it doesn't matter whether it's Zuma, whether it's from DA, whether it's from ANC, anyone that is making utterances that is aimed at destabilizing the peace of the nation or the life of where anybody's life seems to be in danger because of their utterances. You should have a law that should deal with such people. Nobody should be a sacred cow that you are so afraid of letting the law come up against them. As long as the president remains weak and you can't stand, then you will keep seeing these kind of things happening. South Africa, you've got your own problem. You've got your own issues. Concentrate and face those issues. But small time South Africa will go and pick up the fight of between Israel and Palestine because they want to prove, we are a free nation. We were oppressed before. We want to fight against oppression. And I know, yes, I don't support people being killed, whether it's in Gaza, Palestine, wherever they are, or not even in Israel. However, sort your own problem. Take care of your own people before you pick up big fights that you can't sustain. Now, Donald Trump and America, they are behind Israel. South Africa is not so much in good relationship with Israel, but where did you go to? You went to Donald Trump because you need America. Since you know you need America, then you should be open. Don't take side. That's why you were kind of smart in the way you handled the Ukraine and the Russian war. You were like on the fence. So that at least you are able. That's how Zelensky was able to come to you. You could go to him. That's how Putin, you could go to him. And that's why you are all together. So the same way, I will say to you, Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, the ball is in your court. You've got the solution on the way forward for South Africa. If you can take care of how the safety, the security of the nation, you will have investors. But a situation where your people are chasing investors, even their own African brothers, they will go after people from Nigeria, from Ghana, and they call them whatever. They say they must leave. And I heard during the meeting with Donald Trump, they were saying it is illegal aliens that are coming in. No, it's not just illegal aliens. Most of them are South Africans. Was the rally of Zuma, the rally of Malema in the stadium, was it foreigners that were in that rally when he was calling them to kill the boss? No. So stop blaming other fellow Africans. Chasing Zimbabweans from your nation is not what will solve it. Now, they have burned the shops of people from other places that came there, whether Somalians or whether from Ethiopia or from Nigeria, burning a Nigerian shop, burning a Somalian shop, burning an Indian shop. Does it make you rich? They go and loot shops. They loot the whole mall. But has that changed the economy of South Africa? No. All it has done is make the place unsafe and make the place not conducive for investors. You are calling for investors, Instead of facing the security, make sure there is law, there is order in South Africa. And it will be easy. You've got the resources for South Africa to be a very, very rich nation that nobody should go out as a refugee. Why will you let your South Africans leave South Africa and become refugees in America? Because you have allowed lawlessness. Is that how the law works? Take the law into your hand. You want land, grab it. No, this thing has a history. It happened so many years ago. Find ways using the legislature. You are majority. And now you've got the Minister John with you, Minister of Agriculture. That is strategic. I thought that was wise. Leverage, utilize, take advantage of what you have. You went there with whites who spoke to help what you have in mind. So going forward, my advice would be, please make sure you allow there to be law enforcement. Arrest and prosecute individuals that are encouraging lawlessness. It doesn't matter whether they are leaders of political parties, whether they are premiers. It doesn't matter. Nobody should be above the law. That is my advice. That is the way forward for South Africa to be rebuilt. That's my thing. Punish severely individuals that loot, vandalize property, or kill people. Use such examples for others to learn that here you can't take the law into your hand. It's not allowed. It's a new South Africa. That's why it's called the Rainbow Nation. Make any xenophobia behaviors to be severely punished. African brothers and sisters stood with South Africa during your days of the struggle. Why should your people hunt after other fellow Africans? They are only coming to add value to South Africa. Welcome other fellow Africans. They are your brothers, they are your sisters. Don't hunt them. I mean, how many times have we seen dead bodies? Before the killing of white farmers, it's been the killing of fellow black Africans by South Africans. There's too much blood. Too much blood. You know, South Africa, you want to show that you are first in everything. When it came to this LGBTQ, you grabbed it. When other African nations were saying, this is not our culture, but South Africa said it's human right. Where has it ever been to say a man becomes a woman and it's your human right? The Creator didn't make us like that. But you go and see abortion is allowed. So many evil things have been allowed. No wonder South Africa is suffering. There's too much bloodshed. Gender-based violence and all kinds of killings. Not only the white killing. And there's no killing that I condone. And I'm not encouraging it. But I'm just saying, South Africa, especially the government, get your act together. Stop shifting the blame. Yes, I know it's good to call on other nations to help, but can you do something? Because thank God that Donald Trump came and stopped this U.S. aid, this aid that was being sent, because a lot of it was being stolen by Africans. And then they go back and beg, go back and beg. When the money comes, they don't know how to judiciously use it to service the people, to empower the people, to bring education, to bring good health. What corrupt politicians will keep stealing the money. They will rig themselves to power, stay in power, not because they have the interest of the people, but because they want to steal more. President Cyril, there is enough money in South Africa. Just stop the killing. Just stop the stealing. And you'll be surprised how South Africa will become like a light on a hill nation among the Committee of Nations. So empower your people. Make sure things don't continue like that. Send a stern warning out to politicians that loot the money of the nation, that it will no longer be allowed. That's what I call you to do. President Ramaphosa, the ball is in your court. You are the commander. Instead of waiting for Donald Trump to do it, just as you took a step You humbled yourself and went with a team to engage Trump. That's how you must engage other stakeholders in South Africa. Be a strong leader. Don't be a weak leader. Who are you afraid of? You are commander-in-chief. Don't say, oh, the Constitution says this. We must follow the rule of law. Yes, but there is executive power. If certain things going through Parliament will take long, will you say the nation is burning and you're waiting for Parliament to pass a bill for safety? You already have law enforcement. Use them. Now, if investors withdraw from South Africa will become like, a wild bush with no one. And then at the end, you will suffer even more. So, prevention is better than cure. And my final call to citizens of South Africa, don't use your hands to destroy your own nation. Burning the buildings. Where will you get the money to rebuild? You are suffering. You don't have jobs. I'll burn the school down. By burning your school, does that give you education? Burning your malls, does it enhance your economy? No. So my call, not just to South African citizens, but to the citizens of Africa, it is time for us to rebuild Africa. Let's learn from what is happening with President Ibrahim Traore. The man is building his nation, but he wants it to be extended to Africa. Let other nations, Botswana, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and the rest of Africa, we've got resources. That's why the West is still trying to hold her grip on us and never let it go, because we have it. Our problem is bad governance. Our problem is not the devil, it's our demonic leaders. People are in politics, not for the people, but for themselves. I know this is an emotional broadcast and it's been very long, but I had to do it. Please share it with as many people as you can. Let the president of South Africa, let their cabinet, let all the politicians, every South African needs to watch this broadcast. I'm a fellow African, and I'm not happy that we are so blessed as a continent, but we are still the ones that are backward because of wicked, corrupt politicians. Cyril, do the needful. One day you will not be president. Leave a legacy that through you and during your time, there was law and order in South Africa. That other African brothers and sisters are welcomed in your nation. You don't lose by allowing others. They say, oh no, but they are taking our jobs. If you are doing nothing, where did they take your job? You think it's by chasing them, by killing them, looting and stealing the business they have built, but not knowing that instead of learning from other African brothers, you think they are your problem. Oh, they are taking our jobs. They are marrying our women. They are this lazy citizens. You should stand up, unite as one nation. Mandela fought before, and he realized after 27 years in prison that fighting the violent way is not the only way. So he now came with peace, reconciliation. There's one South Africa, the rainbow nation. Whites, blacks, colors, it doesn't matter what tribe, what region. You are in one citizen as united people or people of one nation. Build your nation. Don't use your own hands to destroy your nation. This is my call to the president of South Africa, his cabinet, and to other African leaders. We must learn that we are in power not against the people, but for the people. I want to appreciate everyone that made time and you followed this broadcast. I just had to do it after watching the very, very inspiring and emotional engagement between Cyril Ramaphosa and President Trump. And again, in closing, I want to say, President Cyril, that was a wise step of going to engage Donald Trump. That was very, very smart. It was a smart, strategic move. And I salute you. Use that same wisdom, that same understanding to govern your nation. You are commander-in-chief. Take charge of your nation before your own citizens destroy it. You can't blame any other person. So God bless you, South Africans. God bless you, my African brothers and sisters. Once again, this is your friend and brother, Dr. Haruna Goro, always speaking out on issues of crime, injustice, because I believe Africa is so blessed. We have no reason to suffer. Whether you say from Nigeria, the biggest, most populated black nation on earth, Nigeria with all its resources, but see what's happening. The insecurity everywhere, people dying, Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, kidnappers, and the whole place is like free for all criminality. But all this is because of crooked, evil, wicked governments or politicians that are there not for the people but for themselves. We need a new Africa. In Africa, where the leaders will be there to serve the interests of the people and not their own interests. Long live Africa. Long live the people of God and the Church of Jesus in Africa and worldwide. I am a man of God, and I need to stand against injustice. And I want to say again, thank you for watching. Share this broadcast with as many people as you can. I want to say have a great day. Love you, and I'll see you next time with my next broadcast. Haruna Goro saying bye-bye.